Okay.
So, good evening, everyone. I am Harsh Kumar Singh, your evening host and a management trainee at Adore. Before we dive in, let me give you a quick glimpse into Adore. Adore is a global network of students and young professionals like yourselves, all passionate about inspiring youth to make a positive impact. We connect you with established professionals and offer a platform to learn from their journeys. Now, on behalf of Team Pyramid and Adore, we are thrilled to welcome you to this webinar on unleashing youth's creative spark, fostering innovation and resilience in rapidly changing world. To make this session even more engaging, we kindly request everyone to switch on their camera. And now the moment we all have been waiting for. Our esteemed guest for tonight is Mr. Onjewu Solomon Daniel. Mr. Daniel holds a national diploma in computer science and now is pursuing a second degree, Bachelor's of Science in Computer Science. Mr. Daniel, it's a true honor to have you with us today. We are all eager to gain valuable insight from your expertise. Mr. Daniel, the floor is all yours.
All right. Good evening, everyone. I would share my screen from here to enable better flow. So, yes. And then can we all see it? Sorry, can we all see the screen?
Yeah, it is
Yes,
visible.
you can.
All right. So the topic itself says, thank you. Okay, let me start by appreciating the management for the opportunity. It's likewise an opportunity on my end to be able to speak to young ones like myself. It's one which I do not take for granted. So yeah, the topic itself says, unleashing youth creative spark, fostering innovation and resilience in a rapidly changing world. The topic itself speaks for itself, and the subline says, exploring the interplay between creativity and innovation. The next slide would dive into what we hope to achieve. So these are the house rules. Okay, there are questions in the chat box. At the end of the discussion, we'll have a section for question and answer. So here, what we are going to cover in this topic or within our topic, we try to understand innovation as a whole, the role of resilience, creativity, betting innovation, the society today and creativity in the technical advancement. So let's just go straight into it. Well, this is like Harsh has introduced me already. My name is Onjewu Solomon Daniel. I'm based in Nigeria. I'm in Nigeria. So I believe in the power of creativity so much. I also believe as youth, we have a whole lot of creativity within us. We just have to unleash it, basically. So I try to push boundaries and explore new creative horizons, basically. My mission is to use my diverse skill set to contribute to innovative projects. I've written all this here, but let me not bore you with myself. Let's go straight into the topic for today. So what is creativity? Over the years, you could define creativity as anything in sense of bringing something that was not in existence to existence, bringing a new idea, a new concept. But what I define creativity here is the ability to transcend traditional ideas, rules, and pattern and relationship, basically. So it's you creating a new form, a new method, a new interpretation, a new mathematical solution, a new way to solve a problem, a new form of design, a new dance step, anything new, basically. It just encompasses creativity. It deals with you connecting the dots in new ways. For example, you discover a new route to achieve a solution. It's you being a creative. It involves seeing the world in a new way. You find hidden patterns, making connections between unrelated phenomena. You are generating solutions. So the main aim of creativity as a whole is to generate solution, is to generate sorry, did I go down? Can we see the screen?
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Okay, I think it went down. Okay, so the main, as I was saying, sorry for the interruption, it's to connect dots, you generate solution, basically. You make the invisible visible, things that were not open to everyone at a particular instance, you basically bring it to life. Now, creativity is just about connecting things. Basically, it's just, like I said, you connecting dots. So when you ask creative people how they did something, they feel a little guilty because they didn't really do it. They just saw something. They just saw something and they brought it to life. This is a quote from Steve Jobs. I think we all do know Steve Jobs, basically. So what he was trying to say was, if you ask someone who brought about a mathematical solution, how he did find the formula, how I did find the method, basically what he did was he just saw a loophole somewhere. Like I said, so you connect dots, and here you have created something new. So it's not that hard, basically, the way we do think it is. When we see someone, when we task someone to be a creative, it's not really a difficult task, one that not everybody can achieve. Like I said, I believe we are all creatives in our specific field, in our specific way. So I believe, yes, we could all create something new, basically. So now, what is innovation? Steve Jobs also said, innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower. It makes the boundary very, very clear, basically, in the sense of everyone who follows a particular leader is because the leader has a cause. He has a goal he or she is trying to achieve at the very end. So its followers basically are following in that footstep. They are trying to achieve the goal of the leader. So the leader was innovative to think of a concept to bring to life, and the followers are following in that footstep as the word goes by. So yes, understanding innovation. Innovation is the process of translating an idea or invention, basically a service or creating value for which customers will pay. Now, to the far end, the end of everything could be seen to generate income, I'm sure, in as much as we have a skill one or the other, there's also the income side of it. So innovation also deals with coming out with new ideas. But if you look down, the subtext, they say innovation requires the implementation of creative skills, of creative ideas rather. So you have a creative idea. Now your implementation of it is what we can define as innovation. So we start again. It all begins from you being a creative. It starts with your creativity. It starts with your new idea. You start with your new skill. You have connected the dots. You have a creative idea. Then the implementation of it, we cannot tag it to be an innovation. That's basically what it's trying to say. So innovation bridges the gap between imagination and reality. You know, there are times where you think of you're rich. I'm sure, for example, if we use our sci-fi movies, for example, where you get to see all flying cars, if you do see the Marvel movies, flying cars and stuff. But funny enough, we already have flying cars in reality. These were imaginations before, but now they are in reality. So they are tagged as new innovations, basically. So innovation bridges the gaps between imagination and reality, basically driving progress and development in all areas of life. Now, the role of being resilient, or the role of resilience. The worst enemy of everyone is self-doubt. Now, if people could doubt you, obviously, not everybody will be able to accept your dream, accept your vision, and be ready to support you. Obviously, people are always there to doubt you. But if people doubt you and you don't doubt yourself, you could achieve far more. You could achieve whatever you want to achieve, basically, in the sense of you do believe in yourself, you believe in where you are headed to, you believe in where you are going to. But your worst enemy will be self-doubt. If you yourself don't believe you are a creative, if you yourself don't believe you can create innovative skills, you could bring ideas to life, then that's very detrimental to everyone's success. So the role of resilience, I listed two here. One I said is the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties, toughness. It's an essential trait for everyone looking to foster creativity and innovation, as setbacks and challenges are inevitable in any creative process. So this is basically applied to our everyday life in the sense of if you've tried something and you didn't really get your determined, I see no reason why you should not try again. So more what happened these days is you take a first shot, probably you miss, and you stop taking shots. Let's use football, for example. If our strikers are to take a shot and they do miss, they don't score a goal, do that stop them from taking another shot, trying to score goals? No, basically, because in one of all these shots, you will definitely hit your target. So resilience is the capacity of you going back to back, taking more shots, trying to achieve your goal, basically, pushing forward to achieving your target. So it helps us push through self-doubt. If you remember in the quote, we did say the worst enemy of anyone is self-doubt. So resilience basically helps you to push away the self-doubt. It helps you to maintain a momentum that you need to see your creative ideas through to fruition. That is, it helps you develop a certain ability to be able to bring your creative ideas to life, even though at your first trial or at many other trials, they might not come true, but in time and back to back, they would definitely come true. Next one. So I've been following up the whole community Indian society and the Ambini wedding have been trending, the whole lavishness and everything. So I did a little research on the history, and I noticed that his father did withdraw him from Stanford University. Now, what did pique my interest there was his father said, basically, that he believed real life skills were harnessed through experience and not sitting in the classroom. Now, this is not debunking education as a whole. Education system is definitely very vital in everyone's growth. But the thing I do believe is creativity and innovation as a whole comes majorly from real life skills and experience. If you do a little research on most of the innovations we have today, most of these men that came about them, most of these men that were able to be creatives and bring about innovative ideas, they didn't get that from their teacher or their lecturer per se. Most of them got that on personal research. Even if you go into the world of programming as a whole, the Facebook, your Instagram, most of the social media applications we have today, they were not really taught in class. These were gotten through real life experience and personal trainings, if you do get the idea. So basically, the next one says creativity, betting, innovation. Now, if you remember, we spoke about innovation being the implementation of a creative idea. So that means for you to have an innovative idea, you have to first start from the first step, which is creativity. That is like building your creativity. There's also a quote at this, a subquote basically at the bottom of the text. So the next one, I will just go through this. So creativity generates new ideas and perspectives, which when applied lead to innovative solutions and advancement. The process of creativity gives birth to innovation, transforming raw ideas into practical, valuable outcomes. So it starts from raw ideas, that's your creative thoughts, then they are being transformed into valuable outcomes. So there is always a path to achieving success as a whole. There's always a path to become an innovator. So it starts from you being a creative, then you advance, you apply your raw knowledge and your practical steps, then you become an inventor. By nurturing creativity, we pave the way for innovation. Creative brainstorming can lead to groundbreaking advancement, turning simple ideas into monumental achievement. Now, the thing here is, I believe no idea is small. So your idea can just be how to solve a problem. It's still an idea. So whatever idea you have, don't come from the aspect of it's too small, it might not, people might not buy into it. As far as you have a solution to a problem, that even if it's just one life within your household or community, it affects, it's still an idea. And in time, you will discover new ways to implement your idea to generate or to solve a larger problem and bring solution to the world as a whole. So there's a little graph here. I don't know if we can really see it, but it basically shows technological advancement from the 80s to now and probably the future. So it is one of the quotes I also like says, if you are not prepared to be wrong, you will never come up with anything original. If you are not prepared to be wrong. Now, if you could remember, dating back, I spoke something about people you definitely not buy into your idea. And I gave the example, I also spoke about strikers basically who shoot multiple shots and may just end up with a goal or something. So basically, the thing is, your first trial might not be your groundbreaking achievement. Your first creative idea might not be so promising. It might be wrong at the very end. But if you don't keep trying, if you just want to follow the footsteps of people, if you just want to be a follower, basically, you will not come up with anything original. That's what it's basically trying to tell us. So we live in a rapidly changing world. We are coming to the second segment of the topic basically that speaks about in a rapidly changing environment. So our world today is unprecedented. It's hard, like technological advancements are just happening day by day. You see some and you are literally wondering how it came about. It's no other news. We have AIs all around. Some of us students nowadays use them for assignments and likes of that. So AI are transforming industries, creating new opportunities for innovation. But I will not take away the fact that in as much as AI are creating new opportunities for innovation, they are also taking away jobs. They're also taking away human being jobs. They are displacing humans, probably most likely because they tend to do things faster, better, and more effectively. So if you do a little research, you also see that AIs are replacing humans in their field. Now, the thing here is, how can you kind of minimize that? We would also discuss that later, but just a little snippet. We have to grow and develop it ourselves, basically. I believe in a world so much, and the word is value. I tell people most times, if you are in a particular field, don't just aim to be at the very bottom. Now, obviously, nobody will aim to be at the bottom of the field. But if you don't develop yourself, if you don't take courses, if you don't try to learn new things, you don't try to grow, you're obviously aiming to be at the bottom of the field. There's a saying that he who fails to plan plans to fail, basically. So now back to this. Sorry. Why this technological landscape presents challenge is also an immense opportunity for fostering creativity and innovation. Embracing these advancements will allow us to stay ahead of curve and continually and basically help us to evolve continuously. That's what that text was trying to say. So like I said, we have several softwares. I can remember dating back into the early 90s, and so even the field, the medical field, the accounting field, whatever field you were in at that time, you had to go practically by your knowledge itself. For example, accounting students, you have to do your check and balance by your pen and paper, you calculate with your head. But now there are softwares basically that takes away the stress of it, in the sense of just input your digits and it does your check and balance for you. So the thing is, technological advancement is covering all fields. Whatever field you are in, it might not just be computer science, it might not just be a computer field per se. Whatever field you find yourself, there are technological advancement there that would make or already helping such field. Now, the thing is, how do you still be a creative in the technological advanced world? And like I said, I don't believe so much in the fact that humans would 100% replace, AIs or robots would 100% replace humans. Yes, they are more better in effective and efficiency, but we on our part with growth, and there's just on lighter notes, AIs cannot have emotions, basically. So that's one, although they are looking for ways of which they would, none have been found yet. Well, that's basically a major, will I call it that advantage we have over them, basically. Back to what we're talking about. So you cannot use up creativity. The more you use, the more you have. The more you train yourself, the more you develop yourself, the more you think, the more you brainstorm, the more you come up with creative ideas, the far better you are good at it, the more advanced your brain becomes. You become an expert in a field, basically. There's also a saying that says an expert in any field was once a beginner. You don't just come up to a field and you're an expert in it 100%. So it takes time, it takes consistency, it takes determination, it takes growth, it takes development for you to become an expert in any field. So even in the world of creativity, at first it might not look all that good, basically, but with constant trial and determination, you would achieve success at the long last. So in this era of the technological advancement, it is crucial to leverage on innovations to enhance our creative and problem-solving abilities. You can use AI for idea generation, digital platforms, collaboration, online resource. So the use of AI, basically, it's very much advanced. It's far more to human reach, far more than we can actually think of. I was telling someone the other day, I was like, I don't think we actually use up to a 50% of AI, basically, like of the function of an AI, in the sense of we just use it at the surface. For example, students are giving assignments in class, and to avoid stress, you just go and search and it prompts an answer. So majority of the factors what we just get to use AI for. But if you really dig deep into the knowledge of AI and how to use them, you could really use them for idea generation. You could repolish and reform the idea that is not really looking that structured to you, basically. So, for example, I have an idea, but it's not really forming in my head. I could present it to my AI and it's just give it shape, basically, and restructure it in a way that, yeah, would tailor or would suit a particular audience or the audience I want to reach. So the unending push for success. If you notice over time, I've continually spoken about determination, of consistency or resilience. In simple terms or in layman terms, we will just say, don't give up, basically. In the sense of you have tried and you have tried does not mean you should give up at this particular point. The only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking, don't settle. As with all matters of the heart, you know when you find it. Now, another thing I believe for young ones is we should look for a field where you are particular in, look for fields where you have interest in. Because I believe if you are in a field where you have interest in, no matter how much you don't really get results, you will not feel down, in the sense of you will not be able to blame it on someone else. You're not able to blame your failure on someone else. But if you're in a field that you don't love, or if you're in a field where you just had to go to, probably because someone did choose it for you, also, you would have issues in it because your heart basically is not there. For example, I go back to sports. I am a sports person, so I will obviously refer to sports more than often. So our footballers, name any sports, basically, majority of them are there because of the love of the game. That's why despite the up and downs, they still go back to it, in the sense of you lose a match, you still get to play the next one. There's always an opportunity. Like, you're always very determined to win a cup or to win a trophy, basically. So look for an area where your heart is, look for an area where your mind is, and you channel your creativity there. As far as your mental alignment is in line, or your mental health is in line with that field, ideas will naturally come to you. Ideas will naturally just fit in, basically. You're not stressing, you just think of something and it's an idea, is an idea that you could work on, and it will become an invention, making you an innovator. So continuous development and perseverance are vital for maintaining creative and innovative momentum. Embrace the journey of exploration and keep pushing towards success, no matter the obstacle. Passion and love for what you do drives great work. Keep exploring and innovating until you find what truly resonates with you. Once you do, pursue it relentlessly. Just basically pursue it. Once you find what you love, once you are able to get something that okay, this is where your heart is, give everything to it. This is what I believe youths and young ones we really do need. Most people are in fields where they don't really like, and you just feel reluctant to do necessary duties. But so I believe we should keep explore. We are I will not use the word we are all young and stuff, but the thing here is we still have a little bit of time. So explore fields, learn new skills, go to, if you're in engineering, you can learn about accounting. Just try new things. They say no knowledge is a waste. So I believe in all your exploration, you would obviously come across something that resonates deeply within you, and you can pursue it with everything you have. Fostering innovation and resilience in youth. That's the next one. Okay, sorry. So to foster innovation, we must provide tools and support opportunities needed to cultivate their creativity. Now, this is coming from the aspect of probably not ourselves, but our society, our communities. But we're also to dig deep within it. We would see this as vital for individuals, basically. So the first one says, encouraging creative thinking through problem-solving activities. Now, creative ideas are basically from your mind, so we could consider them to be mental in the sense of you brainstorm, they are not more like physical activities. Now, how do we enhance our creative thinking? You could enhance your creative thinking through problem-solving activities. So engage your minds more in problem-solving activities. 2, not provide, because like I said, I'm now directing into an individual basics. Look for access to resource and mentorship. Now, you could search, if for example, if you are in a field, given any specific field, look for those who seems to be expert and professionals in that field. Read books, read articles, read journals. You could learn from people's experience. You could get creative ideas from people's experience, in the sense of you might just see a loophole of where, like, something this person missed, and it's an idea. If you remember, I did say creativity deals with connecting dots. So you cannot really connect dots from people's ideas. You cannot really connect dots from people's life or field. You cannot really connect dots from people's journey if you don't know about the story, basically. So read, research, browse, whichever one it is. Just make sure you are consuming knowledge in the sense you are consuming knowledge in the right sense, basically. So the third one says, create a supportive environment that values experimentation and learning from failures. Now, create a very supportive environment. You could join groups. You could, like, for example, Adora is a very nice one. For the very least of organizing webinars such as this one, where we could talk to ourselves and help ourselves grow. This is a very nice platform for that. So join a supportive environment that values experimentation. If you are in, I don't want to mention any specific field, that's why I like saying, if you're in any given field, I do believe you should join a body in that field where you are in. Just for example, okay, I will mention one. My field now, computer science. If you want to go into programming, you could join a body of programmers. You guys could work on projects together, and you learn from your failures, because real life examples are quite the what's the word? Basically the main teacher. So creativity can solve almost any problem. The creative act, the defeat of habit by originality, overcomes everything. Now, this boils down to everything we have been saying, from creating dots to implementing your creative idea, to being an inventor, an innovator, to being assessing materials, to learn from people's mistakes, to resilience. This boils down to everything we have been saying from the very beginning, which says creativity can solve any problem. At the beginning, I said anybody can be a creative, and that's the truth of it. Anybody can be a creative. You just have to go through the necessary steps. You just have to be able to spend time brainstorming, spend time researching, spend time learning, spend time reading. And yes, your creative ideas would come to you naturally as long as you go through these steps we have spoken about. So in conclusion, the interplay between creativity, innovation, and resilience is crucial for thriving in a rapidly changing world. Embrace your creative potential, leverage on the existing technology we have, and continuously strive for innovation. Now, in this journey of transformation and discovery, your everyday choices can create extraordinary outcomes. Your everyday study can generate extraordinary outcomes, basically. So your choice, the choice you make every day, the steps you want to implement, your creative journey, your innovative journey are all choices you make. You can, like I said, if you don't plan, if you fail to plan, sorry, you plan to fail. That is basically everything we have been saying. So if you know you really want to be an innovator, you want to be a creative, you have to go through necessary activities. You have to train your mind. You have to tailor your mind down to being one in your specific field. So you have to, obviously, it's not like I've been saying since, it's not a one-day journey, not something you just wake up and you're creative. But with time, with resilience, with consistency, don't doubt yourself, be determined, join a cycle, everything at the end of the day would bring you and tag you. Basically, everything at the end of the day would give you the tag of a creative, and people would tend to recognize you as one and give you your credit. So thank you very much for your attention. I'm open to questions now if you have.
Solomon, felt great to see a mention of Indian example. So thank you, Mr. Daniel, for sharing such an informative presentation. Now we would like to open the floor to questions. I request the participants to submit their doubts and questions in the chat box, and Mr. Daniel will answer them accordingly. So please put down your questions in the chat box.
I'm seeing one. The question says, what role do mentorship programs play in fostering resilience and innovation in young people? Should I go ahead to answer one by one, or I should wait till all the questions come in and I could answer?
You can answer one by one, no problem.
All right. So mentorship programs are very, very vital in fostering resilience and innovation. Very, very, very vital. If you notice, I spoke about learning from others, basically learning from people's journey, reading about their experience, and you could learn from their mistakes, you could learn from their contributions, basically. So if you want to excel in any field, basically, I do believe you should have someone at the forefront of that field that is directing you, someone with the experience. So in my part of the world is an African proverb where they say, something a young person can see. Okay, I was speaking about a proverb, sorry, I was going through another question. So there's a proverb in my side that says, what a matured or an elderly person can see sitting down, a young man cannot see standing up or climbing a tree. It basically means someone who has the experience can foretell what's going to happen in a given outcome. But you just coming new into a field, you don't really have what it takes. So yes, mentorship programs are very, very vital if you have a mentor in a given field, someone you can always run back to and ask the person questions on how to implement this, implement that. That's why in any given industry, you also have you have posts like team lead, you have directors. In the sense, those are practically mentorship positions to help guide the young ones that are coming in. So mentorship programs are very vital, basically. That's what I've been trying to say. So the next question says, how can technology be leveraged to advance the creative potential of the youth? Now, I would go into the media space for this question because I'm a media person myself. For example, I love creating videos. I'm a cinephile. I like editing videos, creating graphics. Now, Adobe Suite, Photoshop, Premiere Pro, CapCut, several of these softwares, they are technological advancements, and without them, making my edits would have been quite taxing, would have been almost impossible. But now these are technological advancements that are helping. If I was to be not if I was to be, sorry, I'm a programmer to myself. If I wanted to create a software, now Python, Java, all these are language, C, React, all these ones are Node.js, they are all programming languages. Softwares are available to enhance your programming, to make your programming quite easy. Now, these are also technological advancements. So the thing here is, whatever field you are in, I believe there are softwares, there are tools, there are gadgets to make your work simple, to enhance your creative potential. Now, we talk about creative potential being kind of imagination. Now, if you have an imagination and you want to bring it to life, I believe there are technological tools and software, as I've said earlier, that would help you and enable you to bring your creative ideas to life. You could also research, which is also a way of forming or being a creative. Technological tools too are also there to help you in your research. If you were to be like a medical profession rather, there are also the basic thing here is there are tools and softwares in every given field. You just have to make your research, you just have to look for those. Okay, another question: what are the key characteristics of resilient young innovators, and how can these traits be developed? What are the key characteristics? Resilience in itself is a key characteristic in the sense of don't give up. That's a very vital key. Now, how can this trait be developed? In major sense, resilience is developed from a personal perspective. Now, I spoke about people would always doubt you, but the main thing here is you not doubting yourself. So if we could inline this question we inline what I'm saying with the question, it's basically saying, how can I not doubt myself, basically? So the way you cannot doubt yourself is basically we could read from other people's success. Now, if you, for example, LinkedIn now and major platform have started enabling people and encouraging people to share their job hunting success story. So for someone who, it's just a practical example, for someone who has been looking for a job and you have been rejected quite a number of times, by the time you are coming to a platform and you are seeing someone's success, at the same time, it should resonate within you that, okay, yeah, you too, you could also share your success one day. So you could develop yourself, you could develop or resist self-doubt from learning from other people's success. Then at the same time, you could also look, okay, how did this person come about this? You could learn from your mistake. But in all this, truth be told, resisting self-doubt or be able to maintain a level of self-esteem to go back to back depends on how well you take feedback. Now, there are two ways of taking feedback. Your feedback can either encourage you or demoralize you. If you are rejected from a particular task, I was giving the example of job hunting. Let me continue in that line. If you applied for a job and you did not get it, there must be a particular reason why you did not get it. So it's left to you to, okay, you look at your CV, you look at your skills, you look at your soft and hard skills, you look at everything and you figure out, okay, probably this is what I did not do right that led me not to get it. But some people would get that rejection later and become demoralized that, okay, this is something I may not get. Demoralize you or encourage you. So it's left to you to choose which one. And the best of it is you allow your feedback encourage you in the sense of let it drive you to make more improvements. Let your feedback drive you to develop more skills. Let your feedback drive you to improve as a person. How can schools and college, okay, do to adapt their curriculum to better nurture creativity among youth and the world? Okay, sorry, I'm just reading the question, not straight, but I get what the person is trying to ask. Now, the thing with schools here is, as far as they could do, or to the great extent, what they just try to do is to integrate practical into their curriculum. For example, you get to do computer science practicals, you get to go on posting if you're in nursing field. So they just try to integrate practicals into their curriculum. But truth be told, those practicals should just serve as the foundation for your self-development. They should just serve as a foundation, then you do the rest of it because they are limited. They are very, very limited. The best they could do is provide practicals for students and also probably just open opportunities for programs, able to attend programs and stuff. But schools are very limited in this sense because they cater for a large number of people. They could go as far as the practical aspect of the course, but I believe that should really serve as the foundation for self-growth and self-development. Okay, what can exposure to diverse culture and perspectives have on creative abilities of youth? This person asked 2 questions in a go. I would answer the first one. Exposure is very, very, very vital to creativity. If you remember, I spoke about exploring new fields. It's very vital because you might find a new way to implement a solution. Now, let me give a practical example of myself. So there are no code websites now. For example, practically saying websites where you don't have to write code, you just build an interface. Obviously, for those no-code websites, there are templates where you could just inside your hyperlink and your text and you have your website ready to go. But when I was working with a company that had to do with no-code websites, I looked at it and the websites were just plain and plain. So what I did was I had to expose myself to the graphics field in terms of Photoshop and likes of that. And I started implementing designs into the website. Now, that was what exposure did. In this sense, we are talking about diverse cultures and perspective. Now, the way we are wired to think differs based on cultures and geographical location. So I might need someone's idea from a certain location or perspective to implement it in my own location that would fruit or bring success, basically. Probably, if someone subtitle, for example, I'll give a practical example now. If you had to subtitle a video, if you edit a video and to do the subtitle, it's very, very much important, or you will still find another person doing this, like having to review your subtitle because you have been looking at the video with your own perspective, with your own eyes. So there are mistakes you would definitely not see. So being exposed to diverse cultures and perspectives is a sense of allowing yourself to be reviewed by others, allowing people to give you new improvements, new creative ideas, basically, that you could implement. So exposure is very vital. You could learn from others, you could learn from cultures, you could learn from perspective, basically. And all this built in would improve your creative ability. Now, the second question says, how can parents and guardians encourage and support their children creative endeavors? Now, as a parent or as a guardian, the thing here is you could monitor your child or whoever you're looking after, see what their interest is and develop them in that particular aspect. Now, on a lighter note too, or basically a joke, you see where people give birth and they notice that their child has an interest in football, basically. And okay, they do the whole project in Pape kind of thing, in the sense of they start training these children to be able to be professionals in the sport. So if you notice a child has a particular interest in a field, provide all necessary trainings, all necessary activities that would enable that child be the very best he or she is in that field, basically. So that's the thing. If you notice the person has an interest in computer science, introduce the person to programming at an early stage. Every necessary skill and knowledge the person will need to grow in that field, what you do is you introduce the person to those skills at the early age, which in time would create a very fast growth for whoever child is. I think that's all the question for now.
So I think we're done with the questions. As we are near the closing ceremony, before we depart, we would like to thank Mr. Mr. Daniel, Dinesh Agarwal, Simran Sharma, Pravikta Mukherjee, and all responsible members for making this webinar a success. Once again, thank you everyone for joining. The webinar is now complete and you may now leave the meeting. Thank you. Solomon, please.